Welcome back,
Welcome
gadgets.
back. Welcome, gadgets?
Gadgets.
That's a weird word.
It's a new.
That's a weird slur, dude.
It's not a slur. It's
I said
all-encompassing and completely vague,
And
so
you-
nobody knows what I'm talking about.
You were trying to say the word that I used earlier today was a slur, but it's not.
Fair.
The big D word. Well, I had more like the little D word, but that's not nice.
Big.
All right.
Who are we?
I'm Geron. Left bumper Geron.
He's deflection. I'm Benjamin Genichiro 2 Benjamin.
Okay. I haven't even gotten to that asshole yet.
My favorite part of the game.
That's crazy. That's crazy. This is Memory Leak. We're on Xbox. We're on PlayStation. We're on Nintendo.
We're cross-platform.
We're not actually on any of those
We're
platforms.
cross-progression.
They don't want us. Cross progression, cross save, cross play. You know what it is. But look, today we're talking about various things. Usually it's video games.
It's a catch-all.
This time it's video games.
There has been some things. I feel like there's been a state of play since we.
Was there? Did we
I
talk
don't
about that boring? No, we did talk about that boring
We
state of
definitely
play.
talked. It was really
absolutely.
boring. But nothing's really happened since
Nothing
then.
terribly exciting. It's the beginning. It's like
We had
the
Pokemon
first
Day.
quarter is about to end.
We had Pokemon Day.
We had Pokemon Day, but we talked about that.
We
So
did
talked
talk about
last
that.
time.
Fuck.
That's literally exactly what we
Yeah,
talked
it's only
about
been
last
2
time.
weeks, even though it felt like
It
an
felt like
eternity
yeah,
being on paternity leave.
yeah. This child is like this fucking big now.
And with no work, it's like I have no
You
concept
just
of
do
time.
nothing, yeah.
It's very strange.
But like new stuff is coming out. The reviews for like
Switch Direct's coming out.
Switch Direct is
That's
in
the
less than a
week I
month. That's
come
a
back
couple
from
weeks.
work.
That's
I'm like, can I watch this live? I don't know. 9 a.m. is gonna
yeah,
be tough
9 a.m.
on
trying to get
the
back into
Wednesday
it.
catching up.
Fucking but the like the reviews for Xenoblade X Definitive
real
Edition are out.
good.
Looking good.
A lot of quality of life.
yeah.
Much needed. That game is
yeah,
a lot of friction in the original edition.
I'm sure they've learned a lot in the 10 years.
For sure. I mean, that game, you think about it, that game came out before any of the Switch games.
Yeah.
Which is really where they hit their stride.
That's when they became the studio that was like, you're going to help with Zelda.
I mean, the first two, we've talked about this, but the first two versions of Xenoblade Chronicles are good.
Yeah.
But like, Definitive Edition blows them out of the fucking water.
Definitive Edition is literally the Definitive Edition.
It blows them out of the water.
Xenoblade 1 to anyone, do it with the Switch version. No reason.
There's a reason why in the first two versions of the game I didn't make it even halfway.
Yeah, interesting. You're right.
It's just the friction. Like there's a friction there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like with the fact that like the peripherals or like the graphics and just like I don't know. There's like there's a sheen that you have to push through, and then you get there and you're like, all right, I'm hitting this. I'm hitting peak.
I'm in it. Yeah.
And it was the same thing with XCX. Like, you basically have to memorize the tutorials in order to even know what you're fucking doing. You're like, there's like a billion menu options. The recruiting the party members was really fucking painful.
Fucking
having to find them on the world map and remember where they are. Not good. Not good.
I think
the font size, just like
the font was fucked up, and they
shit.
fixed that too. The and I think the fact that it's a handheld game now really helps.
Yeah, one screen
on a portable. It's retaining the multiplayer features.
It's smaller.
It's like the file size is literally smaller.
Crazy.
And it doesn't like you don't have to. We mentioned it in the group chat, but the fucking the download packs for the textures and everything, which it's an understandable feature, and I'm glad they hadn't that option, because streaming off of a pseudo Blu-ray is slow as fuck on Wii U, especially.
Funny as shit that
not
the
gonna
texture
happen.
packs were bigger than any hard drive that you could get the Wii U with.
Oh, then you could
like
then you could buy
internal storage.
The internal storage on Wii U is
32
slap. It's fucking slop. Completely way too like it's too small on Switch too, but at least on like Switch as well. It's too small on Switch it's too small on Switch, but at least if you get an OLED it's 64 and there's no 8 gigabyte option. What the fuck? 8 giga? Why even put any in it?
Yeah.
Why? There's nothing you can do with that.
There was a period of like 10 years from 2004 to 2014 where they were just like kind of behind the curve technologically speaking.
They were behind in a way that was like,
and they were fine with the like novelty of Wii and like the gimmicks and all that stuff. but like by the time we were hitting Wii U launch in 2012, it was like really showing.
Yeah, it's
they needed to modernize.
It was like the visuals, whatever, but it was like hanging on to certain old technology in a way that was
like thinking you just didn't need internal storage because people are just playing the games physically
from their discs. Yeah, it's like this is kind of inconvenient, but at the same time, they did have the forethought to build in compatibility with 2 terabyte external hard drives.
Yeah, USB hard drives.
Which is like, okay, so I can supply that myself, which I did. I put a 1 terabyte drive on it. I still
have my texture pack hard drive.
Yeah, I have the texture pack. I didn't even have the fucking game, but I have the texture packs on it. And my other games or whatever.
That was kind of the last game where I was like, I still need to have my Wii U.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's the virtual console stuff, which is nice, but now with this game, I finally feel like I can actually put it away and potentially just sell it off.
Get rid of it. Yeah,
I don't think I need it. I need a Wii though. I don't have a Wii.
And I use my Wii U as my Wii.
Yeah, and there's Wii games I would still like to play, even though some people are like, the Wii mode on the Wii U is busted.
Nigga, I mean, Doug, last year we played Metroid Other M, and it was fucking. The game was fine. It looked fine. It played fine. It was fine.
The people that are beyond hobbyist level are like, there's like, oh, there's that tearing edge. It's which like not exactly.
It's not. You get the overscan shit or whatever. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's just how the Wii was anyway, though.
Yeah.
I think I might have some choice words for the quote unquote enthusiast community later in this podcast, but I'll just tell you right now, you're gonna listen to this cookie package open, and ooh, that lemon smell too. The
synthetic limon.
If you all want to know something, I'm gonna tell you the truth right now. I'm not a gamer.
You are.
I'm not.
You are.
I'm not.
Is this the transition?
I'm not. This isn't a transition, no. But
leave it open.
Huh?
Leave it open.
Oh, I mean, goddamn, it's just a habit, dog. I'm sorry. I wanted 2 of them. This tastes like cereal.
Yeah.
So video games, we play them. True.
We talk about them.
Benjamin did this thing during the Steam sale that's going on right now. And he spent.
I talked about it before.
He's talked about it before. He talked about it as an idea.
Hold my ground. I still think it's one of the best games ever made.
Okay, so
just start. Just give me the whole thing so far. Your experience.
I am a leader. It says on the Girl Scout cookie. I think I already don't like Souls games. I don't like FromSoft games. These style of FromSoft games. I just don't like them. I know I don't, and I'm not gonna lie and say that I suddenly do. Ben bought me Sekiro to make sure I tried it. And I am trying it. I've read that this is probably one of the hardest of these style of games. I understood that. That's fine. What I didn't understand was how, incompatible it is with the way my brain works. Let me explain.
No, I think I know what you mean. I'm gonna let you explain, but I have specific things that I want to mention as point of reference for things that I also struggle with. There's a reversal situation here that I can articulate.
You think you can? Okay. I think, for one, I think choosing to play these games, like everyone's like, oh, they're not for everyone. I get it. I think in a way, choosing to play these games is a decision that you make when you either have a lot of time to spend or there's something about, not saying you, I'm just saying in general. There's something you might not like about yourself that you need to prove otherwise with. And you do it with this masochistic game. I don't give a fuck if you think it's a bad take, bitch. Take. Hold on. Let me explain where I'm coming from.
Go ahead.
I'm at a point where I know I can beat this game if I keep throwing myself at it. It's not something I want to do. I'll do it.
No, don't do it.
I'm gonna do it over time. I'm not gonna do it all at once.
Right.
But I know I can do it if I keep throwing myself at it. But and this isn't on you, of course. This is the way the game works. When I get killed in that game, my brain instantly sends a shock through my body that says, "Nick, boy, you are wasting your time. Stop it. Stop playing this. You are wasting your time. This game is wasting. It's not you. It's not only you. Like, this game is going to waste your time. Do not try again.
I have a few follow-up questions to that.
Go ahead.
What's the hardest game that you've played?
I don't know. I've had to think about that. I actually was thinking about that in the last couple of days. I don't know.
I think that'd be an interesting.
Because one of them might be F-Zero GX.
That's a hard game.
Mm-hmm.
And I have to imagine it took more than one try.
It absolutely took more than one try, but I think.
Have you played Celeste?
I haven't finished it though.
Do you like
I
Celeste?
only played a little bit. It feels fine to play. I just haven't gotten very far in it, but I have it. So I think my thing is the game doesn't feel good at all until you get good at it. And I don't know when that's going to happen.
It's funny you say that. I've heard you say that in a positive way about a lot of other games.
I know. And that's
also why I thought you would like it.
And that kind of flipped me to the side, because it's like, some games don't feel great until you get decent at them, but this one makes you feel bad.
It makes you feel stupid
for not being good at it, and it's deliberate. I get it. I think there's something about playing for 2 hours and feeling like you made zero progress.
I never felt that.
I feel it.
You also made the game harder for yourself.
I didn't,
in that 2 hours.
And I mean,
one of the prosthetics, one of the very first prosthetics you're supposed to get.
Yeah.
Because there's this tent on a cliff.
Sure.
And you can see it when you first get into the first area after the mini boss.
Yeah.
And it's the firecracker. I don't know if you've used it.
I don't have it.
It literally just stuns mobs. It stuns bosses.
Okay.
It's like it's your main assist tool. It's a huge assist.
How many hours do you think I've put in the game already?
10.
10. I've put in 10. There's games that I can beat multiple times in 10 hours.
Yeah.
That are action
one
games.
Of them.
I can't.
This is one of them.
I can't, but
you could.
I could later, I guess.
Exactly.
But
none of these games that you've beaten in 10 hours are games that you could beat 10 hours the first time you went through them.
The fucking, what's it called? Like,
even Metroid Prime, I don't think is like
Metroid Prime
easy to beat in 10 hours.
Metroid Prime took me about 15 hours to beat the first time.
Yeah.
I still have my old save data, so I think it's about 15 hours. That said, maybe it's between 15 and 20. I mean, you're right. You're not wrong. I understand that, and I think but I don't think. Something about the way the game these games in general, I think, push back against you.
I have an issue with you saying these games.
Because it's not like it's not like
Dark
them,
Souls game.
But I needed to lump them together for this particular thought, mainly because it's like they all expect you to throw yourself at them, multiple times, and I think the part of that gives me that you're wasting your time feeling. So when they make me repeat shit.
What shit are you repeating?
Just sometimes it's just a walk to the thing, and then the enemy the enemies are there. I hate that.
Generally, I have the exact same issue.
Yeah.
Generally, I have the same issue. I think this game does it way less than every other Dark Souls game.
Sure.
So there's a few things that I personally was able to kind of like look past.
Sure.
After an amount of time, that's one of them. So I'll give you that one for sure.
I forget what the fuck his name is, but the drunkard dude, getting a retry on him.
That retry is annoying.
Pissed me off.
Yeah.
Because
there's the mobs beforehand.
The game's load screens are designed as if you have a hard drive, like an old spinning hard drive. So they're just a little slower than they could be. Yeah. You don't get a nice little instant snap like you do in modern games, and that's not the game's fault necessarily. It's just what happened. If it was made a year later, it probably would have
2019 versus 2020.
Yeah, exactly. It probably would have had that worked out. Not to say solid state drives weren't a thing.
That being said, I think there is a silver lining benefit to like being forced to take a breather.
There's a thing about being forced to take a breath, but I also don't like being forced to do it. I think my rhythm gets broken so hard by that I can't, like, I have to reset myself every time, and I don't like having to do that. Sometimes I like to come back standing right in front of it.
I'm gonna use a couple of these points though back at you for something for an exact inverted exchange that we had.
Yeah.
Within the last 6 months.
Yeah, I'm sure this has fucked me up. I know.
Do you remember
Castlevania?
Yeah,
I thought about that. I thought about that while I was playing it. Thought about that when I had that feeling.
Sekiro is so Castlevania coded in the sense that it's a blend of both Classicvania and Metroidvania.
Yeah.
Because it's level based. There's linear progression, but there's like branching paths.
Mm-hmm.
There's like the things you can warp to.
Yeah.
So like there's the Metroidvania-ishness to it. But I think Classicvania is 10 times more annoying than Sekiro.
Interesting.
In terms of like the having to redo shit and having to be forced to like take more of a breath after you lose to a boss because now you're fucking like,
push you're pushed
hallway
back
with the axe armors.
You're right.
So,
I don't disagree with you there. I don't disagree with you on that point. I think the difference is something about moving around in Sekiro, in Sekiro specifically, still doesn't feel right to me. Like I feel like when I try to sneak around, I get seen anyway. I feel like when I'm on a rooftop and I'm crouching and I'm on the other side of the fucking parapet or whatever. No, well, the roof, parapet? You know what I mean? Not the parapet. That's a different thing. But I feel like I'm on the other side of it, but I'm still getting hit by projectiles by this fucking thing that's over here. I'm like, what the fuck? Fuck you. I can't see you. I can't deal with you because I'm not fucking with you. I have nothing to fuck with you about. Just leave me alone thing. Or
I don't know the specific.
This is when
you're talking about.
When you're at the castle and there's that group of dudes that's standing in front of that like general dude. Yeah. The red general guy or whatever.
Is this in the beginning?
This is early in the game, I guess. I don't know if this is the beginning. This is the first time I've been to the going up into the castle.
Oh, like so after the bowl.
After the bowl.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So
is this where they're walking down the steps?
This is the steps, yeah. So there's the steps, and I go up on the roof, and I get hit by fucking something. I look over to the side, and there's this fucking just thing throwing shit at me. Like, fuck off.
But again, like similar to Castlevania, part of it is almost like learning the placements because those are static. Like,
True.
Those aren't random in any way.
True. So okay,
like, there are paths you can take
to avoid
ninja, perfect ninja.
Yeah. I want to be.
There's more than one path. There's creativity and flex in that.
So the thing about it, though, that particular thing is the grapple hook. Cool. Grapple hook's cool.
I like the grapple hook.
I don't know the rules for the grapple hook. Some places where I'm like, oh, I can just go up there. Okay. Other places I'm like, shouldn't I be able to just grapple up there? Nah, you can't do that. That shit.
You mean when there's an icon or when?
No, not when there. Sometimes they just want, there's a spot where I'm like, it would make sense for there to be an icon there, but there just isn't one, and that fucks me up because now I'm like, instead of it feeling like I can like freely decide like which rooftop to kind of get to, now I'm
there's paths.
I'm on a path, and I recognize that I'm on a path.
There are definitely distinct paths that they want you to be able to take,
and then
which again, part of that I actually like more because in Dark Souls there isn't as
there
much of that.
It's not really like that.
Which also like makes the game feel like looser and like just like worse designs.
Yeah, that's fair. I think there's something about the way everything.
Do you ever use
comes together?
The like consumable items? Like fistful of ash or anything?
Yeah, I try to, and then fucking ash won't hit sometimes. Like, man, fuck this. And then these other N-words are just kicking up fucking mud in my face. I'm like, stop. I think, let me just get into the combat now because that's like the main portion of it. The game is designed, the combat is designed unlike any other action game that I've played. I
will be for real. It's very similar to Kingdom Hearts. And I'm not kidding about that.
That's interesting. Like, if you're coming at this from my perspective, like playing Devil May Cry and playing Bayonetta, it's not that, period.
It's not that at all.
I've heard people make
opposite of that.
I've heard people make comparisons to like Ninja Gaiden. Don't listen to that shit. Never listen to that shit. In fact, what you should do is never listen to gamers at all.
I do want to replay the Ninja Gaiden games though, now that they're becoming available again.
Available, yeah. Have you played the 3D ones?
I like back on original Xbox.
You play them all the way through?
I don't know if I made it all the way through.
Oh, okay.
That's why I want
That's why you
been
started
so long.
Yeah. The excuse me. The thing about the combat is because it's like that, at least at this point, 10 hours in, it doesn't feel great to me. And I think it's because after doing a little bit of reading, you're supposed to hit the enemies while they're blocking.
Yes.
I don't do that. Because you don't do that in these games.
But they tell you at the beginning of the game, attacking them when they're blocking will give them
posture damage. Yeah. And it's hard to... It's the fucking thing about that is they put a health bar on the screen too.
Yeah, there's 2 ways to kill them.
Yeah, so...
It's like, you think of it as one resource
One
pool.
Yeah. It's tough for me to think of it that way.
It's a very weird thing.
Because all I'm thinking when I see the posture bar is a guard break. And really, I'm just trying to get a parry so I can get real damage, and that's where my mind is. I want the real damage. It does not feel good to hit a blocking enemy. I've been taught not.
Oh, just because of
I've been taught from
language?
all of it. Yeah, all games I've played, anything like this.
On you.
If you attack a blocking enemy, you're going to get hit. You're at a disadvantage when you hit something that's blocking. Yeah. Usually, not all the time. And so. I see that my attacks are getting blocked, and I stop.
It's also interesting because that's why they don't call it block.
Like, they call
don't
it
use the word block anywhere. It's
called
parrying.
Oh, this is parrying, and
parrying.
Yeah. So it and then on the reverse of that, I don't want to hold the block button because I'm going to get posture damage. So I let go of it and I try to deflect.
But also the penalty for getting your posture broken isn't even that bad.
But it feels you're conditioned. I'm conditioned to believe it's going to be really bad. And because the enemies do so much fucking damage, it's like I don't getting hit in some other games, you might take a lot of damage, but you don't. You get usually get a chance. I know you can revive in this game. Don't. That's not beyond me. It's like you get hit and you don't know, at least in my case, when you see a new enemy, I'm like, I'm not going to be able to beat this the first time. Yeah. Because the game just isn't designed to let me do that. And
I think the better you get at the game, the more you can do that.
The more you understand
the more it doesn't even matter what their moveset is. You just know because you have the timing, you have sort of like, you start getting the visual acuity of like the cues, the types of cues in the game.
Yeah.
You know when to block and when you can go in. Because there is a consistency within the game itself.
Yeah.
I think of it, I'm going to use one analogy that I was thinking about today. It's not really related to anything you're saying, but part of why I like Sekiro so much is it's the closest thing that I've experienced in a game to like mastering a piece of music.
Okay.
Like coming from classical music, piano, cello, like all that shit. The first time you read through a piece of music, you can't, like, you literally you like take forever. You're going like one bar at a time, one note at a time, one collection of notes, one chord, and you're trying to figure out like how the fuck does this all work.
Yeah.
And then over time you practice it, you get better at it, and then by the end you can do it from memory. You can step away, you can come back a week later, and you can still play it from memory, and you can still play it at tempo.
Yeah.
And you can get faster, and you get faster, and you get faster, and you almost like forget how bad you were the first time you tried to read through the music. Yeah. And then you can do it without music at all. Like, Sekiro is the only game that's actually felt like something that felt that rewarding to me in terms of like what you're able to do as Sekiro once you've got that mastery down.
Okay.
And it feels really fucking good. Like, the reason why I like the Genichiro fight so much is because there's a move that you don't get to use a ton in the game. They've mentioned it. I don't know if they've probably mentioned it a few times, called the lightning reversal. There's like characters that will talk about, he's got lightning power.
Yeah. I've heard
and they'll eventually start talking about like what's the weakness to that.
Okay.
And you get to do it against them.
Yeah.
And it's like smoking crack when you pull that shit off, because it's like, it's not hard to do. They don't like do this big wind up. You still have to like be able to like see the slight amount of wind up he's gonna do and be able to react to it appropriately. Yeah. And the timing is still like just the timing it would be for any other move, but when you pull it off, you get this massive fucking stagger. You get to just go in on him.
Okay. It's like maybe that
It's
might
hot
be
shit.
that might be where the dial turns for me.
Yeah. Well, it's a common place where the
point.
dial turns for people because I think until you get to that fight, it's actually kind of like a tutorial. It's like a really long tutorial.
And like, what's her name? Lady Butterfly. I didn't beat her. I was like, I'll give it 2 more tries, and I couldn't do it. I get close, but I was also very tired. I don't get a chance to really play until late, unfortunately.
And playing late is also like you do kind of want to be fresh.
Exactly, but my fresh hours when I have to do shit.
Yeah.
So I don't really have the time
it's a good
to
weekend game.
give it. Yeah, like I don't have the juice to give it to it at that time of night.
Yeah,
so
that's fair.
Which is fine, but I also would like to just be able to chill out with it.
Yeah,
that's not the game to do it with.
It's not a chill out game. It's a game where you're like you're honing a skill. You're becoming Sekiro.
Yeah, and I think that's another place where my brain's like, what are you gonna do with this skill after you're done with it? Nothing.
You're gonna do with any video games.
Exactly, but
fighting games.
Exactly, but there's no. There's really like, there's no in a lot of those games they kind of just like, all right, you kind of get it. You can like even in the other kind of games, they'll let you win, but they'll be like, but you did it kind of bad, so you should come back and play again.
And that's also why I mentioned Celeste, because similar to Celeste, I think the game actually does really want you to win more than in any other Dark Souls game, because every other Dark Souls game is like, it's just until you grind down the friction enough to the point where you can just
until you sand it down. You just
that's all those games are. They're just RPG games that you get to the skill check or the
stat check
and then it doesn't even matter anymore.
Yeah.
But with Sekiro, it's like you're gonna learn the thing. We're gonna give you all these chances and these opportunities to learn the thing, and you're gonna learn the thing, and you can do it. And as soon as you do it, you now have the skill that you can immediately go and fight the boss again and do it with no damage. Like that's the kind of shit that it gets to.
See, and delayed gratification. That's a good thing to design a game around. That's for sure. I think my thing is the more it's probably it's on me. Once I get to a certain amount of losses on like a boss or something, when I beat it, I don't give a shit. I'm just like, of course I beat it. I spent this much time on it. No fucking shit, I beat it. So then I'm not necessarily. I haven't gotten that like satisfaction from beating any of the bosses or whatever that I fought so far.
I don't think any of the bosses really provide that.
But I've seen people say that they
I think
do.
Lady Butterfly does. Lady Butterfly, I think, is like a genuinely fun fight to learn. Because it's the first fight, again, going back to like the hard Kingdom Hearts shit.
Sure.
That shit is all about learning like, when can you block? When can you attack and pressure and be aggressive? How much can you punish out of it? And then once you learn all those moves, I almost think of it as like Mega Man games too.
Sure.
And Castlevania games to a degree. It's like once you know all the moves and you know how to take advantage of them, it becomes a walk in the park. And that's kind of how all these bosses are.
I almost wish I didn't have a normal attack in the game.
Didn't have a normal attack?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
I wish it's hard to say what I mean with this, because I know you needed to like hit the block and fuck up the posture and shit like that. But I kind of wish the only way of dealing damage was after some kind of defensive move or something like that specifically, because I don't like hitting shit. I don't like hitting things. I like the kill shot. I don't like hitting shit. Because the hitting shit doesn't feel great to me, at least not yet. I feel like I'm just kind of swinging through it. I like when like the bull is pretty obvious when you're getting good juicy hits on it.
Another boss at the firecracker just like fucks him up.
Okay, so I don't have the firecracker. I don't know what the fuck it is. Maybe when I beat her, I'll feel different, but I kind of like want the fight to be over. Like after a couple of times, like, all right, I get it.
I mean, a lot of it comes down to like, why are you playing these games? And like, what are you trying to get out of it?
And what do people?
Yeah, like
what do people get out of them?
What do you want to get out of the game?
And
I think there's
I'm just trying to get an understanding. That's where I am right now.
I mean, part of the aggression, again, it's like, I think it's the most realistic's the wrong word, but like sword
Mhm.
fighty, which is cool. Like I've never really seen that before, because in any other game, again to your point,
yeah,
when they block, it's just like an impenetrable block. Like there's
nothing.
no,
Once you're blocking,
it's
your
a
best basically
100% block.
Yeah.
Whereas here, it's like depending on how much health they have, depending on
Mhm.
how much posture damage they have, it's like the enemy almost like reacts differently,
Mm-hmm.
and like that makes it feel more like interesting, I
Mhm.
guess. So like it just feels like you're actually like grappled in this real sword fight with these enemies.
I'm trying to think. What would I do to make it feel better to me? Then I think the camera. I don't like the camera.
Just being directly behind them.
I don't like the camera. I don't like when you're locked on. It's like up here. I hate that.
Hmm.
I actually really dislike that. And because especially when something goes up and above you, the shit doesn't know what to do. Period. I'm fine with it breaking the lock, but I'm just like the locking onto something and then the camera. You can't move the camera at all with that because flicking the stick changes what you're locked onto.
Right.
And I know I can remap the controls, but I'm trying to play as they designed it, because I actually don't like right bumper as my attack button. I actually really hate it. It's an uncomfortable button to press multiple times. It's an uncomfortable button to press a lot. Like at once. I'd rather it just be on X or Y, and I could do that, but I think the game's designed around a particular control scheme. Like Astral Chain also had a trigger for an attack button
designed around that just because that's what they're used to.
That's
all their games are like.
But sure, but then that's why like
I don't think it really matters though. Like remap it.
I could remap. It
makes you feel better.
And I did switch it from the bumpers to the triggers for a little bit, but then I set it back to default. I just want to learn it.
I've only played default. So I can't say for sure.
I just want to learn it the way it's put together.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because in my experience in the past, sometimes I'll remap controls and then find out later, like, oh fuck, I can't do this thing, like this either simultaneous button press or whatever. The expectation was that I'd be using this button, and it's all fucked up because they let me change it, which is one of the things I really hate about button mapping, button remapping. Like, give an indicator or something, like have pre-made button configurations before you get to the full remapping. Combat doesn't feel quite right to me yet. I think the
I like stepping on people's heads. I like it a lot.
I think the enemies
on Genichiro a lot too.
Oh damn! I feel like the enemies don't react the way I think they would. I think that they're more reactive when they're blocking than they are when they're getting hit like clean. Feels bad to me because I don't like getting. I feel like I'm getting counter hit for no reason. That's that's a fighting game thought. I feel like when I get my hit, when I get a couple of hits, they should kind of like, and they do stagger sometimes. It's just like what the game is doing is different than the way I would have designed it myself.
Yeah.
So it ends up being that I do something a billion times, and like when I start to get it is actually when I start to get pissed off to the point where I'm just turning my brain right off. And once I do that, I'm going through the motions to just get through it.
Which is not.
And then I get through it. I'm like, oh, is that what it takes? What the fuck? Like, I'm kind of like, I want to feel what people feel, but I'm not getting it yet. And I'm not saying the game is bad. I'm not saying like, I want to play it. I want to figure it out. I want to understand it.
I think Jay's description of it as a rhythm game is like the most, like it feels like a choreographed dance once you learn the bosses really well.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of people describe it as a rhythm game.
Yeah,
and it's like,
because to your point, like
sure,
like attacking on a block doesn't have the same result every time.
Yeah,
like with Genichiro, you attack twice, and then he almost always reacts on the third block a certain way. So then you deflect, so it becomes this like. Attack, block, attack, jump back, right? So there's certain things, and then there's like a branching thing that you could look for. Yeah, so it's step play.
Yeah. I mean, really, I think how strict it is it just doesn't feel quite right, because like what the combat designers and what I'm looking for is different
in terms of like the windows. but there's a lot of flexibility in terms of your options, if that makes sense. Like again, going to like the prosthetics, like there's certain bosses that have like multiple interactions with prosthetics.
Yeah,
depending on what
you can
move
like
they're
throw
doing,
oil on them and shit.
At what point you're using it on them. Like
Yeah.
there's all sorts of stuff beneath the hood that like you have to get very intimately familiar with how the fight is designed to know all that and to see all that.
Like,
which is like it's part of what it is. It's like this slow unraveling of an onion is kind of like what you're doing over the course of a fight and learning it.
With the tears
and
all.
like some people just don't like that, which is fine.
Yeah.
Right? And you might be one of those people.
I might not. I think.
But like that's, again, going back to Kingdom Hearts, which is just, it's funny that I don't know why this is. I think about the time when I talked about Kingdom Hearts being hard and you're just like, you just haven't played action games. Or I think I was saying that it was like really well designed, the fights.
Yeah.
Because I genuinely think the Kingdom Hearts 3 fights are extremely well designed. Because it's the same kind of thing where it's like you become intimately familiar with this thing, and then it becomes almost like a piece of music that you can play.
Yeah, and I think that's where you and I are different.
It's the same thing with like Celeste too.
Yeah.
It's like once you know the timings, and like when to press thing and the rhythm behind the level, like it becomes this like it just becomes like this beautiful thing that you can perform rather than just the game that you're playing. That's how it makes me feel personally.
Yeah. And I think
I think the way
wait. I think for me that is I need that to be like I need it presented to me like that. You know what I mean? I need the game to present it to me like that because I want to come up with the thing. You know what I mean? I want to come up with the method. I don't want there to be a method. I want to come up with it. I don't want like this enemy might have a rhythm.
More jazz than classical music.
Exactly. Yeah. I could parry that. Give me I need you to be like, "Oh fuck, you parried that? Oh shit."
That's kind of what the Genichiro thing is.
Okay.
The lightning reversal. That's why it feels so good. But also it doesn't feel as good if the game is like kind of like lets you skate by until then. You know what I mean? Like
sure.
The friction to get to that point is a true climax.
I mean, I understand that too. It's like at the same time, it's one of those things where it's like, even if I'm beating enemies, I can tell when I'm playing like ass. Like I can tell that I could be doing something better, even if the game is letting me go forward.
Yeah.
And sometimes it letting me go forward means that I'll be more motivated to continue rather than banging my head against something because I didn't do it. I didn't do it just right. You know what I mean? Like being told I'm not doing it just right. It's frustrating to me in a way that it's frustrating in a way that goes back to childhood. No, it's frustrating to me.
That's fair. There are certain games that just like you're gonna do this right.
And
there's some games that punish you for not doing it right. I don't think this is necessarily one of those games.
I feel like
it doesn't feel like a punishment to me.
I feel like I'm getting punished, but like I feel like I'm being punished way harder than maybe the game even intends for me to be. And I think it's like
I feel that with classic Castlevania more than almost any other game.
Oh, interesting. Because Castlevania, if I'm talking about that,
feels mean. It feels really.
There's some mean spirited shit in it, but I also just like the act of doing anything in those games. You know what I mean?
I do know what you mean, but I also feel that way about. I think Sekiro feels really good. Okay. Sekiro feels to me how I think Monster Hunter should feel. Like I don't like how Monster Hunter feels at all, and I never have.
The thing about Monster Hunter, then I wouldn't equate this to Monster Hunter in any sort of way. Monster Hunter, you just kind of you find out stuff that works, and sometimes the things that work are worse than the other things that work, and you get better things for doing the things.
That's also why I don't really like. I don't know why I brought up Monster Hunter. Maybe because Wilds came out. And somebody asked me to play once again. I'm just like, dog, I don't like Monster Hunter games, and everyone thinks I'm crazy for not liking Monster Hunter games.
Yeah,
but it comes down to how the combat feels in that game, and the combat just feels like like sluggish and
yeah.
and people have described it as like a fighting game that's single player, and like I get all
Mhm.
that, but it's like Sekiro has like some sluggishness, but it feels more just like intentional weight.
Mm,
Like the certain things like hitting and then clashing and then
yeah.
causing posture damage, like it feels more like intentional, and if I press something that I shouldn't have pressed, I immediately know that I fucked up.
Mhm.
um and I don't know, like Monster Hunter just feels like doesn't it feels again kind of like Dark Souls, where you're just kind of like grinding it away
Oh,
until it's
dude, Monster Hunter is so much better than fucking Dark Souls in my opinion. The movement, the feel, and everything. I know what you're talking about though. But at least again, Monster Hunter doesn't say anything like you.
yeah, I mean Monster Hunter is just like do whatever you want.
Monster Hunter outright is like you're doing this to get gear.
Yeah,
you're
on the
to hit
treadmill.
harder.
Yeah.
Like,
you're on the treadmill, and you can go on that treadmill any way you want.
And that's the progression of it. Then is like you can fight these better monsters, or you can decide to use lower grade armor and see if you can persist to deal with it. But that's a choice. That's a major choice you make.
Yeah, Sekiro is just about a very specific skill set that you're learning.
I think.
But again, like the reason why I kept thinking that maybe you would like it is just because, to me, it would become one of the most satisfying one-trick games, like one-shot games. It's just like you're at somebody's house, they've got Sekiro, you load it up,
you just run through,
blast through it in like 10 hours.
Maybe I will get to that point, because like I know I said this 10 hours. This is over the span of like 3 days. But maybe I will. It's might just take me a bit to be like, what the fuck is this game really asking of me, and for me to turn parts of my brain off that I shouldn't be using, and turn parts of my brain on. That
another thing that reminds me of Castlevania is like, in a similar way that Castlevania 4 is entirely built around the whip.
The whip being omnidirectional.
And the sub weapon is more like flavor that you're adding in, and like optimization.
That's like the prosthetic.
That's exactly it's exactly
that I understood.
It can make certain things easier the same way sub weapons can make certain bosses easier.
And in fact, the way the prosthetic stuff works in Best of Killer 7, why? In Sekiro works exactly like Castlevania, all the way down to needing the whatever the fuck they call the spirit things.
The spirits.
And you often get those back from just fighting enemies.
Yeah.
Which unfortunately, when you run out, and that's it. Shit. So you got to go get more, and that's one of those things that I wish I didn't have to do. I haven't used. I've never used the flame because I'd never have enough. I haven't had enough shit since I got it to use it. But like I've never used it.
That's fine. I didn't use it until late in the game. I didn't use the flame then very much.
Okay.
I use the shuriken a lot though. But there's a lot of bosses. As soon as they jump in the air, they're susceptible to the shuriken. They fall down.
What I will say though, I think and I didn't really get the value of this until I played this the way I am. I think it's important, for me at least, for something like genuinely stylish to be in the game, to carry it. Like, it could be the music, it could be the visuals, it could be the way the enemies function, it could be the way the characters function, the player character functions, whatever. And I know there's enemies in the game that have like a lot of stuff going on, but I think the way it's presented, like the dreary way that everything is presented, at least up to this point, is instead of feeling like cool, I just feel, all I feel is the sadness.
Yeah.
That's probably intentional, but at the same time, it's like dying and then seeing the rot and shit like that. I'm like,
I don't like the rot
mechanic. I almost want, like, I almost want to start the game over. And I don't like
you can
the thought of it.
I don't like. I think the dragon rot mechanic is like that actively turns me off. That's another more of. There's a handful of complaints that I would personally change about the game, and just removing dragon rot.
Yeah, I think
like it is a punishment, but it's also like a punishment that just means nothing.
But killing NPCs that can give you quit. I thought it killed them. I thought it killed quest givers.
You can bring them all back.
Oh, okay. Well,
it's such a nothing. All it does is make you feel bad.
So it's just busy work, and
it's just busy work.
It turns into busy work, and then
it just makes you feel bad.
And I like,
but also like the quests, like they don't really matter.
Yeah, I've noticed they don't really matter
it's
very
just
much.
Like extra flavor.
I think I still going back to how I started this. I do think you have to have a level of I'm going to use the word, I don't mean it as harshly as I'm saying it. I think you have to have a level of masochism where
I don't think it's really masochism. Because again, like by saying that practicing any skill is masochism.
Sure. And I don't deny that at all.
That's not masochism though.
Look, I think you have to come to a decision of what's like practicing a skill outside of video games feels different because your progression isn't you're not being pushed back by something. You know what I mean? The only thing you're being pushed back.
I'm not sure that's necessarily true.
Because I think when you're practicing a skill, you're mostly held back by yourself. And I know it's going to sound like whatever. But when you get past something, it's genuinely satisfying because it's something that's relevant outside of this one teeny tiny context. Whereas in this case, I'm like,
sure.
But it's like, what's it called? Like you brought up learning. You learn music. People will give a shit about hearing it if you can play it.
Or maybe you never play it for people.
I mean, maybe you never play it for people, but again, that's you. That's on you. You know.
Yeah.
It's you fucking learn to sculpt. You learn to you learn to draw. You learn to sing.
It's fun to learn something. But the learning is the fun part.
And oftentimes that feels good too.
Yeah.
But a game does this thing where it doesn't feel good until.
That's where we differ. I like the learning. I like the learning of the boss fights.
Okay.
I think like with each move that I successfully like deflect or negate, I'm like, all right, cool. I learned that. I learned that piece of the fight. Which again, same thing with music. It's like when you're learning a piece of music, you don't just play it start to finish every single time.
Yeah, of course not. You play the pieces.
You play the other page. You break it up into the different phrases.
Yeah.
It's the same kind of thing. Once you can successfully parry one attack 100% of the time, that's like a piece of the fight down.
Sure.
And like just that alone, I get satisfaction and enjoyment out of.
Okay.
That's actually where some platformers really, really irritate me. You have to do it in order.
Yeah, you have to do it in order until you get there.
Really irritate me because you always
have to play the whole
fucking song, which is just like, why? I just want to play like the last third.
And I think that feeling that you're talking about is actually something in this. I know there's a way to like practice stuff, but I wish there was a way to do it without spending any resources or anything.
Yeah, there's an entire mode on that. You can actually practice just lightning reversal.
Well, is there a place where that you're not
the guy?
Oh, okay, well,
you can tell him what you want to practice.
Okay, so that's something that completely escaped me. So forget that point. Don't worry about it then. forget it because I obviously something I missed, something I didn't understand. And like I said, I'm not saying these games are bad. That's not at all what I'm saying. I think
they just affect you differently depending on what you specifically want to get out of it.
Yeah, I think there's how would I say this? I might have given up sooner. And been like, all right, this is not.
Again, it's your game.
I don't want to spend
it's your game in your library. You don't need to like do anything.
Yeah. I'm not doing it for you at this point. I'm doing it because I want to understand.
That goes for every game that somebody gives you.
Right. That's for real. You don't have to play shit if you don't want to. Yeah, you don't have to do that shit. Absolutely fucking not. Anything anyone gives you, you don't have to use just because they gave it to you. You don't fucking think you have to do that. It's given to you just for you to choose without having to then choose to spend money or whatever at that point. What am I trying to say? Like, maybe I'll feel different in a month. Maybe I'll feel different in a week. Maybe I'll feel different tomorrow.
Before you were coming over, I booted it up, and I was just because when you beat the game, you can go and just play any boss.
Just play any bosses, yeah.
And I was just playing Genichiro over and over again.
Yeah, were you doing that on Steam Deck or were you doing it on?
I was doing it on my PC, but I played the whole game through on Steam Deck.
Okay.
Which is great. Feels really good.
Interesting.
Having it handheld is really nice to just go and like practice the boss fight while you're taking a shit.
I wish the game ran at 120.
Yeah, I mean,
but it doesn't.
Steam Deck, I never.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I think I ran it at 45 because there would be occasional drops at 60.
Oh.
So I set it to 45 because it's a 90 hertz.
Yeah,
display,
90 hertz display.
Perfect.
Okay.
I would like it to be on Switch 2. It won't, but I think it'd be
I
cool.
mean, who knows? Who knows
It'd
what
be
will be?
cool.
Who the fuck knows is going to be on Switch 2?
Fucking airplane game. Put the fucking tablet up,
And
have
then
your two
the
Joy-Cons,
Joy-Con
and
just-
just fucking do your thing. Block, mash, block, jump back, stomp on his head, lightning reversal. Like, fuck yeah.
But yeah, so all in summary, at the moment, I want to make sure that's known. The game is pissing me off for real in some ways that I did not anticipate. It's harder for me to look past the things that are pissing me off because those exact things are exactly the things that prevent me from making progress. And that's frustrating. And I'm really not the type of person that wants to bang their head against something just to come out on the other side, just to say I did it. Like I'm too old for that shit at this point. I used to do that. I don't do that now. I've seen, just to get into it, I've seen what happens when I bang my head against shit and I go the other side and I'm the fucking fool because now I'm in a position where, because then I end up in a position where it's like, well, you could do it then, you can do it now. It's like, no, that was torture. There's nothing left for me but more torture. Fuck you. Fuck you, Ben. No, I'm kidding.
That's a mindset thing. Because I think there are things in games that genuinely are bang your head against the wall until you finish.
Yeah.
And then you go and try and do it again, and it's bang your head against the wall again.
Until you finish. Yeah.
But this, like the way that this is learned,
yeah,
just doesn't feel like that to me.
You, at that point, you just break through the glass ceiling.
Yeah, it's more like you carved yourself a beautiful door that now you can use as much as you want.
Okay. And maybe that's what happened with me with the first Devil May Cry, because I do remember having a time like, what the fuck is going on? That game is like 2 minutes long though, so I figured it out. I was like, okay,
I do think the first Devil May Cry is pretty similar to Sekiro in
a lot of ways. Yeah.
Like the control scheme was very weird when it came out. It still is pretty weird.
The original PS2 game in the US, the controls are actually fucked up too.
Yeah.
They fucked them up. They fixed it with the
remaster.
The HD re-releases. Yeah. I do think there's a lot of stuff in that game. The game doesn't tell you about,
when you run it
like,
at 40 FPS.
I cannot believe I forgot you did that. I was playing it. I was like, there's something wrong with this, right? You're like, why does it feel like this? Like, you run with the frame rate. That was extremely fucked up, actually. Let me get another one of these because you're making me want one.
Well, I'm happy that you gave it as much of a try as you did. If you never play it and you get more again, won't affect anything. You have my blessing. So only play it if you feel the itch and the desire.
It's probably gonna get sidelined in a couple of days because Xenoblade comes out, and I really intend to finish. Like, I've been having a really hard time finishing games lately, so I kind of intend to just finish that in one go.
Yeah. Well, that's a tough one to finish.
I know.
Holy shit!
But I wanted to play more. It's
literally the biggest of all three Xenoblade games.
But I wanted to play more Xenoblade, and I almost started Definitive Edition.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, wait a minute, let's just not do that. Let's just wait until X comes out, play some. And so yeah,
there's still one other game you owe me. Crosscode.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah. Like what do you mean? But Crosscode, I'm interested in playing, and yeah, so. I'm not like worried about that one. I figure I'll probably enjoy it.
You will enjoy that. And specifically, you might be a little bit bored until you get to the first dungeon, which is a couple hours into the game.
Okay.
I think the fight system in that game is like very unique.
Yeah.
I think it's really cool the way they did it. There's a couple things that, again, are like kind of friction annoyances that I have. Specifically, when you run out of dodges, it's just like you're like sputtering in place. And I just feel like the way that implemented just kind of like feels bad, and there's not like a great like kind of indicator.
The feedback isn't good.
Yeah, you just have 3 dashes, and as you're doing it, you kind of lose track sometimes, and you're just like sputtering in place.
Yeah,
I really don't like that. That's like probably the main thing I don't like. But just the idea of having like a combat system based on that's almost like a shoot 'em up.
Yeah,
like a bullet
hell,
like a Contra type situation.
Oh, run and gun. Well, no,
but you're aiming on like a
top down. Yeah.
Situation, but it's also got melee and like there's the elements and skill trees. It's very well put together, especially for an indie game. Story's great, but the dungeons are by far the best part.
Okay.
I think they're the best most creative, satisfying, fun puzzles I've seen in like dungeons in games since like Zelda.
Interesting.
Like outside of
like
Zelda,
like 2D Zelda.
yeah,
You're thinking of
it feels very 2D Zelda adjacent in terms of like the way the dungeons are structured.
Yeah.
Um,
I think I'll tell you after putting together this new PC, which I did not intend to replace everything in, but I ended up doing so. So I spent $1,000, more than $1,000 really, and I basically built a brand new PC. It's great. I can play whatever I want.
Now you're good for like 30 years.
Yeah, like maybe 7 years. 30?
We've plateaued, dude.
We've kind of
upscaling and shit. Like you're good.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I'll be able to play new shit for a long time.
Really longer than ever before.
Yeah, probably definitely longer than my last.
Yeah.
Like I won't be sitting there like you got a GPU I can borrow kind of bullshit like I did with the last computer. But
and Remake. I forgot about Remake.
I have Remake. Yeah, it's actually installed right now. It's waiting for me to
Remake's fun to just blast.
Yeah, the menu I got like
you can blast through Remake pretty quickly. Remake I think has more pacing issues than Rebirth, ironically. Because people say Rebirth is like bigger and more bloated.
But there's more stuff to do.
Yeah, that's only if you do all the extra shit.
Exactly.
I think the story on Rebirth is really well paced.
And I can get Rebirth too. I can comfortably buy Rebirth and be like, I can play this at the best it can look.
Yeah.
At least on a 1080p monitor, because that's all I give a shit about.
Definitely the best it can look.
Yeah.
Like the PC version is actually way better.
Yeah. Oh no, I've seen. And there's a little like hacks and mods and shit like that you can download that take advantage of the RDNA 4, the FSR 4 shit that I have with this brand new GPU that I just bought.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, okay.
Nice.
Like, I might be in on that. The
don't really need it though if you're not 4K.
Right. Yeah, that too. The what the fuck was I talking about? I was saying Switch 2 backward compatible. Oh, I think by having put this PC together, I do think I've said this before about how I feel about having a PC. I understand when people want the most powerful stuff, but in my mind, that actually wears off pretty quick.
It does.
Like as long as you can run this shit,
it wears off in a year.
You end up not even thinking about it.
Yeah.
Where like, if a game is good, a game is good. Yeah. I don't really care as long as the games run okay on Switch 2. I don't care if the thing is like PS4 power, if it's
I still have a weird mental thing about games on PC where like I just don't think they're going to be as optimized as console games.
Yeah.
And I'm like almost expecting like a stutter or a frame drop. And I'm just
where you shouldn't, because you spent so much money on it probably.
And I'm just like I'm just waiting for it, even though it's like probably running fine.
Yeah.
And it's just that affects me about having like a custom built PC. It's like, is this specific combination of parts going to cause any issues with this game, because they probably haven't tested this specific configuration
period. Yeah. The like part of what I like about the PC situation is that I've accrued, I've picked up enough knowledge over time to really take care of it.
Yeah.
But the thing is that I have to take care of it. I have to open the case, which that case you just snap it. That's so nice. Yeah. The top, even the case
it's a really nice case.
It's a really nice case. Sorry, Jay. I have to open the case and get the dust out. I was like, I want another fan. It's great that I could. So I took one of the case fans from my old PC, cracked open the top of the new one, and put an exhaust fan at the far back up. I was like, okay, that's a bit better than just having the one that goes out the back. Mm-hmm. I'm sitting here monitoring temperatures and shit like that because it's still new. I'm just trying to make sure that
it's a burden, man.
It's a bit of a burden, and some of the time it's like, Steam even the overlay lets you do this. I'm like, show me the frame rate. Okay. I'm like, on a console, I don't have to do that. Right. I can kind of eyeball it and be like, oh, this is running at 30, or this is unstable fucking 20, or this is 60, or this is 90, it's 120, whatever. And some of the thing about a purpose-built machine that plays games, even if it's not as powerful as this PC, at least the games, like you're saying, are running the way they're supposed to.
Right. That's why even something like Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, now after all of its patches, like it doesn't even really bother me.
Yeah.
Like I went back in and did a raid, and like there's some stuttering, there's some popping, and it's like I don't really care nearly as much as I would if I was playing something on PC.
Right, exactly.
Obviously, if you were playing something on PC and that was happening,
you'd there's probably
issue.
a huge problem either with the game or your build. But
yeah, and it's just like, well, what the fuck is it? Is it me? Is it the game? How do I get to the bottom of this? And then you're
sitting here Googling fucking background processes and shit.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, glad you got your PC.
Yeah,
I'm glad you can play all the cool things.
I'm happy I have it. I'm like this. I'm sure I can use this for a lot of different things for a long time. You look at my wish list on Steam.
Is it just all Sony games? All the
basically all of the PS5 games that would have
Ghosts of Tsushima.
Ghost of Tsushima, fucking.
It's on sale right now, $40.
Oh shit! Both Last of Us games, God of War Ragnarok. I think I have Returnal on there. Maybe I don't, because I don't really care for that style of game either.
Returnal's good though.
Yeah, but
it's one of the best versions. No, but yeah, you have enough.
Yeah, like
you don't need to play Returnal. I feel bad for Returnal. We mentioned this before. I think it kind of like nobody kind of forgotten about it at this point, because it was a launch game, and that was kind of part of what made it special.
Yeah, I think the should come out on Xbox. No, the yeah, Returnal had its time to be spoken about, but people do still talk about it. Like I see people.
You know,
bring
a game
it up.
I just thought of that you were talking about playing is Final Fantasy 16.
Yeah.
It's funny because exactly what we were talking about, Sekiro, the things that like you like or don't like, they're basically those are the two spectrums.
Yeah, Final Fantasy 16 is absolutely on the other end.
It's like propelling you forward regardless of what's happening.
Yeah, the fucking FF16 has no problem letting you win.
Yeah,
but you can
it's a
tell
bit of a movie game.
You can tell when you're playing kind of gross too. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
for sure.
Yeah, like oh, I didn't do the
you can
I didn't
play
do the
gross
magic
and see the whole game. Like,
and I think
it's just like, but to me, it's like it doesn't even matter at that point. 16 like just doesn't like nothing.
Nothing feels like it matters in that game. Yeah, interesting. I think
I like the story of 16. I think it's a really pretty game.
Yeah.
But like the gameplay, it put me to fucking sleep.
Interesting.
It looked nice.
Yeah,
but just the feeling of zero consequence is like, am I playing a game?
Yeah, zero consequence. Yeah, is one thing,
and that's
for sure.
kind of always been my issue with Devil May Cry games too. Well, just any game with a score system. I don't like, even Bayonetta to a degree.
Yeah.
I like the game and I like playing through it, but I feel nothing when the game is over, because it's like, well, I could go back and get like perfect platinum or whatever. I got all bronze, but it's like, I don't need to. Like, yeah. I don't know. I feel no reason to go back.
Interesting, because I feel like, oh, okay, now the whole first run of the game is the tutorial, and then it's like, okay, they let me through the gate. Let me kick it up. Use the skills I picked up.
Exactly the thing you mentioned of like your brain saying like this is a waste of time. Playing a game again just to get a higher score feels like the ultimate waste of time.
Interesting.
Even if you're playing the game like a little bit better, a little bit more optimally, a little bit more efficient, like. Again, it goes down to like consequence. Like you're still getting through the game. You're still seeing all the same things. You're still beating the boss. It's just like maybe you're half a second faster.
See, I think that is like, if I like the game enough, especially, now I'm not forced to understand it if I don't want to. If I just want to get through and be like, okay, I'm good.
There's value to that for sure.
Yeah,
and that's how I played the games, and I enjoyed it perfectly fine.
Yeah.
I liked the first Bayonetta game a lot. I thought it was cool. I thought all the bosses were cool. I thought the moves looked cool.
Yeah.
But again, like the fact that there's no consequence means that the game left much less of an impression.
Interesting.
Like it just didn't really like matter.
Because
I felt kind of nothing.
That's weird. That's so weird. That's weird. I think that's definitely where the differences are. Because when I'm playing those games, I go through them. And I see how the show is supposed to play out, especially when they have cutscenes with the characters doing this and that.
Like I would get the same amount of value out of just watching somebody perfect platinum the whole game.
Interesting.
Because now I'm at least like I'm seeing it.
Yeah. See, I get to see what everything's supposed to be like, so that when I go through it again, I feel like I'm the director. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like I'm the one.
I don't know if
Yeah.
I don't feel like I need to go through it again. Like there's nothing pushing me to ever replay it.
Interesting.
Because it's just like, well, I'd have to go and practice and learn it, and maybe I would have to play the game again to refeel it, and then a third time to really like do it perfectly, and like that, it just feel like that actually feels like busy work to me.
Yeah.
Rather than like you have to be a master at something in order to see it through to the end of it.
That's
it's
definitely
like you have to be able to play the piece of music in order to play it from start to finish.
That's crazy. It's crazy. We both see it totally fucking because like I don't like grades in general, but like especially with Bayonetta, because I think the way the refining the score system like they did in that, it's the same way in Wonderful 101 is exactly the same. Time, how much damage you took, and the quality of your combo. And the way to raise a combo is usually using the main mechanic of the game. In this case, it's using Wicked Weaves in order to make your combo multiplier go up, and making sure you're just constantly hitting something. And when something's blocking, you like pick a different enemy that isn't, and you do something to them or whatever. But it gives you an immediate thing that tells you this is how you did in this fight.
Yeah.
And if it's like it doesn't kill you, it says it kills you. It kills me inside when I get like a bronze or a stone. I'm like, fuck. It instantly makes me want to be like, okay, well now I know how this fight goes. I've seen the whole thing. Now I can play the whole thing, never getting hit. I can play it getting the biggest fucking combo that this is asking me for and at the fastest pace. And then when the game's like, damn, you really understood. You understood the assignment. Here's your fucking pure platinums. It's like I'm not being held in third grade because I didn't fucking win the kickball game. You know what I mean? I fucking lost the kickball game. I'm like, now I know I can do it better. Let me go play some kickball again. But I'm still able to go to fourth and fifth grade. I don't know why I'm using elementary school as this example, but in the other hand, it's like, what? You thought you could attack me here? Go back to the beginning of the school year, and maybe not all that, but go back to the beginning of the week. Start over. It's like, man, fuck. Shit. And I know not every player can even get to the point of surviving any of these kind of games. But it's interesting knowing the
two schools of thought.
The way they make the way they make you and I feel, at least, where like you feel like it's pointless in a very straightforward way to say it. You feel like it's pointless if they let you go.
I need the game to discipline me rather than me discipline myself.
Yeah, and I need to be allowed to discipline myself.
The problem is I have
before
no
the game does, huh?
The problem is I have no discipline.
Interesting.
Which is exactly why, like, when I get through these games, it's like, I could replay this, or I could just go play something else. It's like I don't have the discipline to go and learn.
Actually test your understanding of
exactly.
it. Like that's one of my things about those. I'll never play one of those games only one time.
Yeah.
Unless I'm like borrowing it, but or unless it's called Devil May Cry 2. But it's like Metal Gear Rising. I've played on different platforms and shit like that, and I'm not the best at it by any means, but once I understood what the game was asking me for, I also felt like I could do encounters that I came up to first try, and even if I couldn't, I wasn't getting beaten so hard. It was like, here, you can feel stupid, but it's up to you to decide if you feel stupid about this. But you can go on. You can keep going. It's kind of like at your own risk.
Games tell me that I'm a dumb piece of shit.
Okay.
I really like because it's that curve of like satisfaction. It's just like it starts off so steep and then levels off.
Yeah.
Whereas the other one is almost like the opposite. I don't know if it's the opposite. I can't really just describe the
curve. I don't.
Celeste, I think, is still sort of like the perfect example that describes me needing to be disciplined, because it's like Celeste is like the whole thing is about like you're gonna climb the mountain and you can do it.
You can, and they say so.
Make sure you can
every
do
time,
it. Like, but you're going to climb this mountain yourself. Like, we're gonna discipline you until you get there. And then when you beat the game, it tells you how many times you died.
Yeah.
So
it also tells you not to worry about it.
Yeah, exactly. And I enjoy replaying Celeste. Ironically, there's no scores or anything, but there is the counter of deaths, and it's like, oh, did I do less
deaths? Yeah.
Like, did I retain that skill set?
Yeah. Damn. At least we got to the bottom of something I didn't expect to.
Agree to disagree. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think I need to, for me to enjoy something like that, like enjoy, specifically enjoy. I think the guiding my way forward, guiding my way around the understanding of it needs to be in my hands. So I need to be able to take all the, I need to be able to read the end of the book if I want to.
Yeah.
The end of the textbook, whatever you want to call it. I can't be forced to read chapter 3, 4, and 5 in order to read chapter 6. There might be something in chapter 6 that I want now that then I will use to increase my understanding of whatever when I do read 4, 5, and 6.
The last thing about this game that, again, is sort of like a mileage may vary type thing that you can like or you can hate about it is the game, and all FromSoft games are kind of like this. Mm-hmm. It is intended to be sort of like a communal thing.
Yeah, that I understand. You're supposed to talk to other people
about. You're supposed
to interact
with
people
works,
with
what doesn't work.
Yeah.
So like, I never liked that about Elden Ring specifically because Elden Ring feels like even more of like a. I should just be able to play the game however I
feel like,
and be successful. Yeah. And it's not really like that. It's like, oh, you need to go online and find where the best items are because people have already found them.
Yeah.
And like that
I don't like that
me.
feeling.
Yeah, that feels like shit.
Yeah.
But with Sekiro, it's not about like items or anything. It's more just about like what strategies work.
Yeah.
And then you can see how people have like put all these things together, which I enjoy. I enjoy seeing all the combo videos and shit that people do.
Yeah.
Fucking crazy on some bosses.
Yeah. That's the kind of thing that I prefer to do after I've finished a run.
Yeah, and I usually do it after I figured the boss out for myself, and I'm like, how did somebody else do it?
I don't even want to see how someone did the boss until after I finished the game.
Oh,
you know what I mean? Because something they might be doing with that might be something that I was like, oh fuck, now I can use it on this boss, and I don't want to.
That's fair.
No, that's inorganic to me, even though it's intended to be like kind of a communal thing. I think it's kind of the way I operate.
No, I get that.
I think
I don't feel good about it. I don't feel as bad about it in Sekiro compared to the other games.
Okay. Well, if I do it like that, I feel like someone else is playing the game for me. I'm just a vessel for their information, which in some cases, like, that's fine. But in this particular case, when I'm trying to,
which is just,
this is about my experience.
Because Sekiro is about the execution rather than like
yeah,
figuring something out as much.
And if sometimes you learn like execution like tricks to make that execution better. And of course, like if you're playing music, of course you need other people
you need
to teach you that shit.
Yeah,
you need that. There's no way around that. Like that's understandable. I think the game should be like the game can't do shit. Do the thing where the tooltip on the loading screen, but the fact that it's like that in a game like this is a huge fuck up in my opinion.
That is a huge fuck
up. I like as someone who did fucking quality assurance. That kind of shit pisses me off.
That is a particularly egregious thing that I 100% agree with you on. That shit, especially because it's such a core mechanic.
It's a very like once I got it, I was like, oh. These dudes are gone when I do that.
They're just fucking
like
dead
they're
instantly.
Gone when I do
Doing
that.
And Genichiro has so many things you can use it on.
Because
so many things you can Makiri counter.
And I'm glad I was told that shit that was that way because the I was letting go and I was pressing B.
Yeah.
And I wasn't doing shit. Right. I was like, what the fuck is going on? It's literally as like left stick plus B on the loading screen.
Yeah.
And the loading screens, despite them appearing for me anyway, they still go by fast enough because of solid state fucking drive that I'm not reading it.
Right.
I only read it because I was like, what the fuck is this? This is what I was fucking looking for.
Yeah.
Which at this point I actually believe that no games should be using loading screens to dole out information. I think that's a bad idea now. The faster loading gets, less.
Most games don't have loading screens anymore.
Yeah,
like they're a thing of the past for sure.
Yeah. And I've mentioned before, I think there's a certain set of standards that I hold loading screens to. I haven't thought about it too much recently, but
that I feel like there was an hour-long segment in an Action Button review segment about loading screens.
Oh, interesting. Fucking,
you'd like his content more than you can admit. I know his voice is annoying.
I can't. Yeah, it's very hard to listen to his voice. I might prefer reading it than I would listening to him, but. All right, I think we're good on this one.
We've exhausted.
Yeah, well, I'll give you an update. I'll give you all an update.
All right.
When the time comes for me to give you an update.
Sounds good. All right, higher fans.
We need to plan these. I need to plan like 5 in advance.
We just need to have like a spreadsheet.
Because I've seen shit, but I can't even remember what it was. Yeah.
Next time.
We'll
start the spreadsheet. All right. If you like this shit, give us a like, comment, subscribe. We're on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Podbean, and YouTube.
Shlomo. All right.
Until next time, gamers. Which we are not.
Which I am not. I am not.